Okay, so now we have our enclave, Longfellow County Prison, and we are going to create your survivors. These are the characters that you specifically will play. Obviously, as we've already said, there's a bunch of other people living in the prison, but these are some of the main characters. If this were a TV show, right, you would be the main cast. To do this, what we're going to do is give you several cards at random taken from these decks. These are going to tell you your past, who you were before the zombies arrived. Mm-hmm. They're going to tell you your present, who you have become since the zombies have arrived, the sort of role you play in the prison, and your trauma, which kind of tells you how you deal with a lot of the horrible stuff you have been through, because not a single person who's left alive has come through unscathed. Okay?
Okay.
So, your past and your trauma are going to stay face down when you get them. You can see them. You can take a look at them.
Okay.
But you don't want to show them to anybody else. Unless you talk about your past, nobody knows who you were. Unless you talk about your trauma or exhibit it in some capacity, nobody knows what it is.
Right.
However, your present is going to be face up. This role that you play in this community, everybody knows what you do, the job you fulfill, or how you act, okay? You're going to get one past and one trauma. You don't get to pick those, but you will get two presents. So you will get to pick which of those two you like more, and then that's the one you're actually going to put down on your character sheet. The other one just goes away. Okay? All right, so past. Wow. Trauma. And then you get two presents, and you choose which one you want.
All right, so I have Enforcer and Tyrant. So Enforcer says, you may not be in charge yourself, but you damn well ensure that everyone else falls in line with the orders your boss gives. And Tyrant just says, the time for democracy is over. Well, I'm going to take Tyrant. Yeah.
Let's see, I have Cook. It's like a useful one.
Yeah.
I get one survival. But I also have Follower, so I clear stress when I obey someone's orders without question.
So you're going to take Follower?
Right. Fantastic.
All right, good.
Well, that worked out.
If I wanted to reveal my trauma now, could I? Can I just say, like, people just know?
Yes. If it's something that, like, really you're okay with everybody knowing from moment one, you can reveal it. However, there's some cost to that. Such as, for example, when people want to mess with you, they can do it more easally the more of your cards are face up. They know you better. They can predict you. They can plan for you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll keep it face down for now.
Okay. Cool. All right. So you now have some idea of who you are in terms of your history and your present position. Mm-hmm. Your next step is going to be to choose your stats. You have a 3, a 2, a 2, and a 1 that you're going to put into those stats on the left-hand side of your character card. Those stats are Savagery, Soul, Steel, and Survival. So Savagery is kind of like your ability or capacity to inflict violence and be threatening. Soul is your ability to actually make human connections. Steel is your ability to keep calm and keep others calm. And Survival is your ability to just survive at any cost. Okay? Some of you may have a thing on your character card that already says you get a particular effect. For instance, Catherine.
Yes, the follower says take +1 soul.
Excellent. So whatever you put in soul, it's already bumped up one more.
Okay, so I could go 4 in soul.
You could, yes. Higher is always better. You will be better at that thing, but there is no stat that you will not want. So there is no clear choice here where I can just put my 1 in that and I'll be just fine.
If I have a card that gives me a +1 but it's not revealed yet, do I get the +1 later?
You will get it when that card is revealed, but not until.
Cool.
So, there you go.
All right, well, as the tyrant of this community, I'm going to take Savagery 3. And I'm going to take Steel 2 and Survival 2. And this is maybe a little cliche, but I'll take Soul 1.
Excellent.
You all need to take your problem somewhere else.
Well, I'm going to take Soul 4.
Very nice.
Let's go Steel 2, Survival 2, and Savagery 1.
Very nice. Just completely inverse.
Together
Great.
we're one person. One functional person.
All right, so the last bit of character creation is really just you thinking about who you actually are. What's your name? What do you look like? And think about this definitely from the perspective of what do other people actually know about you? How do you act? What do they see? So if you have your name picked, our next step would be to actually introduce your characters to each other.
All right. Cool. So I'll say my name is Erica Garza, and Erica has. It's not clear if she like worked here before, but she's clearly got some like law enforcement thing. Like either she was a guard, maybe a cop. It's kind of nobody really knows,
Nice.
or nobody's talking about it at least. But she has a gang of survivors, 4 allies who back my control of the colony.
Very nice.
And when I give them orders, I have a draw for that.
Mhm.
But they kind of listen to me, and I see myself as the like protector of this prison. And I also see myself as the person who's supposed to make sure that everybody lives. So I'm very dedicated to making sure everybody survives. That's like my number one focus.
Excellent.
Okay. My character's name is Cassandra. She's relatively young. I think I came into the prison with the city refugees.
Nice.
There's a big group
Nice.
of people, and I'm pretty outgoing and friendly, and don't like to rock any boats.
Okay.
But
you're gonna do well here.
yeah,
Cassandra.
I like building really close relationships with people.
Okay.
It gives us all meaning after everything has fallen apart.
Yeah,
All right,
no,
good.
yeah, that's gonna do you well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great. Nothing weird.
So what we are gonna do now is figure out what the relationship is between Erica and Cassandra.
Okay.
So we have these fate cards. They have relationships written on them. I'm gonna deal a relationship in between you, and you're gonna talk about what it actually means.
Okay.
Now, this is a relationship so that anybody else in the colony may not really know the details, but you both know what's up. And we at the table, the people playing, we will know what's up. Because it's just fun. So, here's what you got.
It says, the two of you agree that another member of the enclave needs to go. Who and why?
The warden.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, the
Well, that was
warden.
easy.
Yeah, I think the warden is he's like maybe he's done something that, or he's like slipped, like maybe he started drinking again or something, and he has like the keys to the armory and he has a lot of control, but he's not making very good decisions.
Messed up the security thing.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
okay,
There was
cool.
someone strong in charge. They could just make sure that everything was secure.
Yes,
Yup.
this sounds great. Yes.
Yeah.
This is great. This is very functional.
So, but I don't want to hurt him. I just think he needs to not live here.
That's not going to work. Let's give him a name.
Okay. Do you have an idea? Do Edgar.
Edgar McLeod.
Edgar McLeod. Okay. So you have agreed that he needs to be gone.
Yeah, he needs to go.
Okay. Excellent. All right. And now we're going to give you an ally. Now, in your case, we may give you more allies.
Yeah.
You are a tyrant.
I got 4.
In bigger games with lots of people, there's enough characters running around, we probably actually wouldn't do this step, or we might do it just to populate the enclave a bit, but they're not already connected to you. But for us, we're playing with some fewer players. You're going to start with an NPC who you've already befriended, who you have sort of swayed to your side, and they'll follow your lead in most things. And in particular, you with the tyrant would always get some form of allies, no matter what.
Cool.
So I'm going to go ahead and start off and just deal you your one ally.
Okay.
And then we're going to go ahead and deal you allies, or you can choose to take them from the population that we have already described.
Okay.
So for instance, I mean, you obviously wouldn't pick the warden at this point.
Right.
But you might pick some of the city refugees.
Or the noteworthy prisoner.
All right,
Yes. Cool.
So, your one ally.
I have Opal Ramirez, a bounty hunter. Her skills include stealth, violence, and intimidation, and her equipment are handcuffs, a pistol, and maps.
Excellent.
She sounds like a great friend. Great friend to have.
Is she your friend because she's taking care of you, or
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay.
I think we were both in the city when things went bad.
I see.
She really helped us get out of there.
I see.
So.
Very nice. I like it. All right. Would you like from the deck?
Yeah, I'll take one from the deck. We'll see how the noteworthy prisoner goes. But I'll take this one. All right, this is Percy Ward, who is a reverend. His skills are leadership, empathy, and manipulation, and his equipment is he has a holy book and rosary beads. So I think Percy was maybe like a chaplain at the prison. So like he knows kind of my background maybe more than some of the other survivors. And like we just known each other a long time. Like we're old friends. He's a little bit older than me because I think I'm probably more like 30, 35. He's probably like 40, 45. But we're good friends.
Very nice.
Hit me. I'll take it. All right. Sally Nelson, who's a stay-at-home mom. However, she is wielding
Battle hammer?
It's a
pipe.
pipe. Her skills are empathy, manipulation, and leadership. Her equipment, she has a cast iron skillet, a taser, and a bag. And I think Sally's just fallen in behind me. Like maybe her husband didn't make it out of the city, one of these city refugees, and so she just kind of gravitated towards me since the apocalypse.
Very nice.
I'll do one more.
All right.
Leo Clark is a drifter. His skills are scavenging, survival, and stealth, and backpack and heavy coat. I think Leo is actually one of the prisoners at the prison.
Nice.
And so like since everything's kind of broken down, we've just sort of like he's okay. I mean, like, what do I care if you committed a crime? The world's on fire, right? So yeah, Leo is definitely somebody who like keeps an eye out for various problems. And then I think I'll take the noteworthy prisoner as my fourth one.
Excellent. So who is that?
If it's like a famous person.
Like Martha Stewart.
Like Martha Stewart, or like what about like Michael Vick, right? Like or somebody like who's a superstar in something else, and then they had like a thing. So yeah, like I guess Martha Stewart's kind of in the same boat. Yeah. So we'll say how about like a singer, like a rock,
nice,
like somebody who's doing it's time for drugs, right? Like
nice.
So they got a little of that, like maybe they have an addiction kind of problem in there too. So we'll say So we'll say it's a woman who. She got arrested for like heroin or some like serious drug, and while she was doing her time here at the prison, after her like fourth or fifth offense, and since everything's gone to hell, she's a pretty valuable ally.
Yes.
And I would say I'd like her to be kind of like a smarter, clever person.
Sure.
She's kind of scrappy, kind of I guess in these stats like survival, like she's
sure.
a survival person.
Yeah.
Well,
like she is in the position she's in because she knows how to play the system.
Yeah, she's gotten by.
Yeah,
and we'll say her name is Fatima.
Fatima, great. And is that? I mean, should we understand that as kind of like the celebrity thing? Fatima.
Yeah, that's like her stage name, like Cher, right? Like she just goes by the one name. Yeah.
Excellent.
Like it's not even her real name, right? Her real name is something else.
But it's what you call it.
That's what you call it.
No,
All right.
we don't have the internet anymore.
Perfect. So we now have your characters set up. We have your relationship. We have a bunch of new members of the population, and we still have plenty of people we could fill in if we wanted between the dozen city refugees, and there still might just be others scattered around. And so our next step is to start playing.